Hello everyone, this is Eugenia Dell'Osa and welcome to Playful Lessons, brain-friendly games for every learner. I am Eugenia Dell'Osa, I am from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and I am very happy to share with you this presentation today. Playful lessons, brain-friendly games, and every learner. What do we mean by these? Playful lessons, lessons full of games, brain-friendly games, games that activate the different parts of the brain for every single learner in our classroom, for all those learners that need special attention, that need a different way and a twist to our traditional classes. So this is our agenda today. We'll have some welcome. We will talk about activating the brain and how to do that for successful lessons. And then we will have lots of games and practical ideas for you to take to your lessons immediately, right away. We will finish with connecting the dots. So we will mention some theory as regards the games we used and some farewell with a goodie bag, because this presentation will be able for you to download as a PDF to take into your lessons and use to manage this according to your activities. But first, what's that? What can you see there? What is it? It's a brain practicing some gym. I start my lessons with a brain gym activity. What do I mean by a brain gym activity? An activity that activates the brain, that gets the brain ready to learn. An activity, a very short one, a 1 minute activity, 2 minute activity, that connects the brain to its most easy or easiest way to get ready to learn. Are you ready for this? One brain gym activity could be like challenging the brain. You show me one thumb and your pointing finger. So right thumb and left pointing finger. And the idea now is to switch. And we switch. And we switch from one to the other. The idea of the brain gym activity is to challenge the brain, to give the brain an activity that the brain is not expecting. By doing this, we help our brain get some synapses there, get neurons ready to be on alert, to be ready to practice the language, to practice activities, and to be eager to learn. So, are your brains ready now? Let's start. We'll talk about brain-friendly learning. And I chose this material from Mark Fletcher, from his book Teaching for Success, where he defines successful learning as a situation that is most likely if the learner has high confidence and good self-esteem, if the learner is strongly motivated to learn, and if the learner is able to learn in an environment characterized by high challenge, brain gym, coupled with low threat. So they are a place where they are safe. That's what the classroom should be. A place where there is high challenge, they are motivated and eager to do things, but there is also low threat. Are you ready to share this? What about activating the brain? So my question is, how do we learn a language? How is a language learned? It is learned through exposure. So we need to speak the language a lot. We need to get them in a linguistic environment that is great for them. Through repetition, we need to repeat the language and use it a lot in order to acquire it. And it is also learned through memories. And what do I mean by memories? I mean this, connecting the heart, connecting emotions, having fun, and making situations memorable for our students. I usually say, put up your hand or write on the chat if you ever had a student leaving your classroom saying, Wow, I'm very happy today because I can master the simple present. I've never seen kids, especially, leaving a classroom talking about grammatical aspects of the language or vocabulary lists. But I've seen kids saying, wow, we had a great time today, or that class was fun, or I want to come back. That's what I like, making classes memorable. And that's the idea today. So let's play. Let's see. Can you see the yellow dots here? They are hiding something. Something is hidden behind this. So I like creating this moment where they are like waiting for what Miseo has brought today. That thing that will challenge them to discover something, to think outside the box from some moments within the lesson. So let's see if you can guess who this character is. There is somebody hidden here. And these circles will start disappearing. And what can you see there? The sky, a wall, some fingers. I think that's a leg. Can you guess who this is? Who is it? Oh, two legs, one arm. Who is that? Oh, that's not a man. Is it a man? Let me see. Two arms, two legs. He's wearing jeans or an overall and oops. Is it an animal? Oh, what is it? Do you know who this is? This is Humpty Dumpty. Are you all familiar with Humpty Dumpty? Let's see. Imagine we want to teach our students this rhyme, no matter their age, because you can teach traditional rhymes to adults too. Teenagers, very young learners, you can use this rhyme with whoever you want. The thing is, we're going to teach our students Humpty Dumpty. So I will go like reading or reciting the traditional rhyme, and I can go like, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Good. Can you repeat it if this was the first time you were exposed to this? Difficult, isn't it? Challenging. So if I expose my students to one piece of language, call it a traditional rhyme in this case, only once, that is not enough. We said we learned and we acquired the language through exposure, repetition, and making things memorable within the lesson. So I have Humpty Dumpty, and I need some support. I have visual support with the image, but I can also give you this, more visual support. And I go like, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. So I am repeating this once again. Now you can not only see the picture of Humpty Dumpty, but you can also read the lyrics of the rhyme. So your brain feels like this release, it's like relief. It's like, wow, now I feel comfortable with the language. So we are providing them with different resources to internalize the language, to be exposed to the language. It is not just me saying it and students activating their auditory channel, but also their visual one. But if I want to make this memorable, if I want them to have fun, I can use some other techniques. And I can get emotions involved in this. And I can go like, we are all Humpty Dumptys now. So show me a big Humpty Dumpty. Everybody stands up. And I want to see you here. Everybody stands up and we go like, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses, show me a king with a crown. Good. And all the king's horses, and now the horse, and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Can we do that again? But faster this time. So, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. We could go on like this for ages, because we can include this to our feelings or moods check that we have every day. And you say, how do you feel today? Are you sleepy? And we go like, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Ah, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. So what we are doing is activating our students' moods. The brain is connected to their feelings. The brain is connected to their playing with the language. And we are repeating the pattern. The aim you have with this particularly, with this rhyme might be different, might be because you want to introduce simple past, because it has sat, had, or it could be because you're working on tradition or even culture and traditional rhymes with very young learners, and you forget about simple past, and you're just exploring the language, but you are using your body, you're using your emotions. We are making this memorable. We want them to feel the language and experience the language. So that was an example as an introduction. Now, this is something I did with my students last year. They were 9, 10 years old, and it was my first class. And I said, okay, this is me. And it was their turn, that's why it says your turn, to discover things about me. They did not know me. And I said, okay, let's get together in groups of 3, in pairs, and you have to solve different challenges and find out who I am or what you can about me. And here it goes. What they found were all different puzzles. So they had to find information about my personal life, my complete name, my age, my favorite color, and my favorite food. So let's see if you can guess if you take 1 minute, but I added an extra challenge. Look at this. As we have a puzzle there for my favorite food, I provided them with something to solve online. So if you want, while having this talk and attending this talk, you can scan with your cell phones this QR code that will take you to a puzzle to be solved online. So meanwhile, I asked my students to solve what my complete name was, what my age was, my favorite color, and my favorite food. And the rule was, this task needs to be solved in English. So you need to come to an agreement in pairs to give me sentences about me, about my life. So they started solving it in pairs or little groups. And then we checked. Let's check whether your answers are the correct ones. What's my complete name? How old am I? What's my favorite color? And what's my favorite food? Let's see if I can see that on the chat. Okay, these are the answers. So I was asking my students, what is my complete name? And their answer was, your complete name is Maria Eugenia. Good. How old am I? You are 48 years old. What's my favorite color? Your favorite color is, and I used a poem for this. What's the color of some mint, a wine bottle made of glass, crocodiles, frogs, the Hulk, shamrock, Kermit, and some grass? So that was integrating a little bit of literature within this activity. And then what's my favorite food? And my favorite food is sushi. So what we did was to give or to use a traditional activity, getting to know your teacher, getting to know your students, because then they have to design their own challenges for me to learn about them. So the idea of using tiny challenges, like these kind of micro learning spots, where you give them the chance to think or to use the language in a different way. You're asking them in a meaningful way to solve situations related to uh, something that really concerns them, that is my personal information, their personal information. But apart from that, you are inviting the different students. You have some students who are really good at maths, but not that good at language or English. Working with anagrams, as you had my name, working with a poem, or even working with a puzzle of the image. They had to solve different challenges according to their different skills. And that's why I chose collaborative work, that I wanted them to cooperate together in finding solutions to these challenges, and to use this as an excuse to have them speaking. So there was a language focus, which was giving personal information. But I thought of different challenges instead of them asking, what's your favorite color? Or what's your complete name? So I wanted to make it in a different way. Of course, after this, they had their own, as I said before, they had their own versions of personal information and challenges that they created, again, in pairs, and then they had to solve one pair or group against the other. Did you like it? As we kept on working, I started talking about my likes and dislikes. And imagine 9 or 10-year-olds having a look at these pictures. And they had to decide which were, from these different images, which were the things I liked and which were the things I did not like. So, first of all, there are some things that they already know. We have singers, we have a film or book, we have means of transport, items of clothing. So I was kind of recycling all the prior knowledge they already had, because these were concepts they already had from previous years, but they were connected to real life. Classes were just starting, and we were talking about holidays, likes and dislikes. And you can see famous people here in Argentina. So I started asking them, and what do you think? Do I like holidays at the beach or not? And they had to put their thumbs up or down, but to give me sentences, because they were working on this together. They first made their decisions, and then we checked all together. So they were exposing themselves to using the language. They were invited to use the language in a meaningful way, because we had a game within this. So let's check with the chat. What do you think? Do I like holidays at the beach? Yes or no? Yes, thumb up. What about listening to music? Do I like listening to music? Yes or no? Yes. So that's what they said. Euge likes listening to music. Euge likes going on holidays. And they kept on giving me sentences. Euge likes reading. Oh, what do you think? Do I like reading or not? Yes, I like reading. And then we started talking about new characters, perhaps for you, but they are famous in Argentina. And we had Elegante. And Elegante is not a singer that I like. So they guessed. Euge doesn't like Elegante. And what about motorcycles? And that's how we went. What do you think? Do I like motorcycles or not? I don't like motorcycles. I'm afraid of motorcycles. What about Kiwi? a healthy life, healthy food. Do I like kiwi? What do you think? Uh-oh, that's the only fruit I don't like. What about ice cream, chocolate ice cream? Oops, what about sneakers? Why are sneakers there? Because I am all day long wearing sneakers. That's a hint for the next one. But what about chocolate ice cream? I love chocolate ice cream. What about high-heeled shoes? This was easy for my students because they could see me and I am always wearing sneakers or trainers. What about Harry Potter? What about fish? I love Harry Potter. I don't like fish. And here they said, that's impossible. If you like sushi, your favorite food is sushi. And I said, you're right. My favorite food is sushi, but I do not like fish. I cannot cook fish. I cannot eat fish at home. Just the only way I can eat fish is within sushi. So I love sushi, but I don't like fish. I'm sorry. And what about Luis Miguel? This was very interesting because I love Luis Miguel. I'm a fan of Luis Miguel. But for my 9 or 10-year-old students, the answer was, oh, my granny likes him too. And I said, no. Okay, but last year, Luis Miguel visited the country, so they knew who it was. It was not that I was talking about somebody they had never heard of, which wouldn't be a bad point or idea, but mentioning things that are within their everyday life. They started, oh, my granny went to see him, or my mom will go, or so we were talking about things that were connected to their real life. Of course, after this, they had to create their own. But something really important and something I like using with my students a lot is the fact that we used this activity as an exit ticket. As I had a language focus here, and that was revising, working on the simple present in the third person singular, they had to choose one of these likes or dislikes, and they had to give me this sentence that they chose as an exit ticket. So I had all of my students using one sentence in the simple present, and that was, Euge likes Harry Potter, Euge loves Luis Miguel, Euge doesn't like kiwi, Euge doesn't like motorbikes, and so on and so forth. So what I did was to have my students thinking and remembering, and that is a kind of repetition, inner repetition. Did they have exposure? Yes, because we were talking about these items all together and we were repeating the language. Did they have repetition? A lot. Did they use their inner repetition in a meaningful way? Because then they needed to say that sentence in order to leave the classroom. Yes, they did. Did they have fun? We did have fun. So we had a memorable time there. So, wow, lots of me speaking. And this is something I use. Between activities, I choose a brain break. I choose different brain breaks, things that kind of make some kind of cut in our lesson. A 1 minute, 2 minute activity, not longer than that. And I ask them, okay, let's give our brains a break. Let's play rock, scissors, paper in pairs, and that's it. And we go they play it 3 times to see who the winner is, but we will play it here once. I want you to try and write on the chat. If we go like rock, scissors, paper, you know how to play, don't you? Rock destroys the scissors, but rock is covered by paper, so paper wins. And scissors cut paper. So here we go. I will go 1, 2, 3, and we play rock, scissors, paper, okay? Rock, scissors, paper, rock, scissors, paper, rock, scissors, paper. 1, 2, 3. Scissors. What did you get? Did I win? Were you paper or was I destroyed by your rock? Good. That was some brain gym activity, a brain break to cut the talk, to change the focus of attention. So now your brains are ready to keep on working. So here we have, I said I was bringing lots of activities for different ages and different levels. In these activities, you will see that there is language focus, that there are some visual materials, and these are different possibilities. Do you play I Spy with your students? Very young learners, you concentrate on the color and you say, I spy with my little eyes something in the classroom that is red, and they need to go and check everywhere. But what if you say, I spy with my little eyes something in the classroom that starts with M? And they have to go and check. So you can bring images for them and exploit the vocabulary they already know and learn new vocabulary items. But you can also do this with adults as a short warm-up activity if you want, as an activity to revise colors, why not? To revise quantity, to revise different items. Most of these are related to toys, but there are things that are, as these are tiny toys, things that you can use in different contexts. So include games in your lessons. Include games to challenge the brain, to surprise the brain, to bring something that your students and their brains are not expecting. Good. Something else, silent comics. Which is the language focus here? I want them to describe situations. This is a comic with no speech that I chose, and I cut into different parts, or in fact, I altered the order. And what you needed to do was to put these in order. So you have like a different a sequence for the different squares. Can you put them in order? What's happening? Where are they? So what I do is I give my students time to solve this using the language. Describe the different scenes. What can you see there? And then we check. So we are repeating the language. We use the language a lot. And you choose the focus you want to have. If it is the simple past and past continuous, if it is simple present and present continuous, you choose. So the couple was ready already at the table to have dinner, but the kid was missing. So mommy says, where's Tommy? Oh, I'll go and fetch him. I'll tell him the dinner is ready. So when the dad arrives at the bedroom, Tommy is reading a book. So, but the book was interesting. So daddy sent Tommy to the table to have dinner, but he got really interested on the book. So we have like the different parts, and then you can talk about this. Does this happen at home? Is dinner ready and you're not at the table, but you are using the language a lot. Different structures to describe the different sequences within the comic strip. So this is what I call silent comics. Have you ever used a cookie catcher? I like this idea of building things with our students. I built mine, and mine says it has numbers on the outside, and you can go like choosing number 3, and you can count like 1, 2, 3, and you have options there. But you can also ask them, instead of saying the number, to spell the number, and they go like T, H, R, E, 3. Good. And they get there. And in my case, it says favorite book. So the one who is reading has to ask their partner, what's your favorite book? So everybody is participating here. And the other one answers, and the prize he gets for answering this is a positive statement, which is one of the options here. You can use colors, you can use numbers, you can use questions, but you can give them like a positive statement for them to take home, to take with them. And this one says, it's okay to make mistakes. So you can have cookie catchers, which are done by your students. So they are experiencing what you are doing. They are experiencing and creating the language, and it is meaningful for them to play with something they created. You can choose whatever you want to practice inside. So this is a do-it-yourself, and you will find many here in this presentation. You can find pictures from different situations. In this case, we're describing simple past and past continuous, and ask your students to create the memory game. So to create it, it's not only teachers' work, but you can bring the pictures, you work on the pictures, so the language is repeated. You create, you bring the cards, they paste the cards there, or they even draw the things there, and the task is really clear for them. They are preparing in English because the activity is conducted in English. They are preparing a memory game to play with and revise the language. Another do-it-yourself activity, build a Jenga and use this for vocabulary items as they remove one of the pieces of wood. Sentences from a text, they need to read and remove one. So the brain is being challenged with different activities that they need to, the brain needs to focus on. Play taboo. The bench is the word they need to guess, but they can't use sit, wooden, chair, long, or park. So again, you work on the vocabulary items that are the words that need to be guessed, and they decide on the words that are the taboo words that can't be mentioned. So those words require a lot of critical thinking, a lot of collaboration and cooperation for them, and also creativity. So they are designing their own activities for traditional games. This is a game I love. Whenever I have 5 minutes spare time that I need, I grab my cards and I say, okay, we're playing a game. Let's see. Name as many, and I take one card and it says, name as many animals you can keep as pets. Name as many pets as you can. So they start 1, 2, 3, and they mention them. So 5-minute activities that get your students engaged. And you can have a set of cards with different categories to talk about. This is an activity they like a lot. Name as many places in the house, name as many colors, name as many numbers, name as many phrasal verbs. You choose what to prepare. And this is something you can prepare with them too. I like working with letters a lot, loose letters, and they prepare anagrams, crosswords, poems, acrostics for them to change, for them to exchange with their partners so that the others have to guess. Oops, another brain break. And this has to do with breathing, because we need to work on this. So show me your hands and we go like breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Try these with your students. We will talk at the very end about these techniques to change the atmosphere of the classroom. In between activities, when they come from the break, when they come from their PE class, physical education, and when you see that you need to change the atmosphere there. Working with scrambled sentences, I give them words that are not in order, and they need to put them in order. So what's the sentence here? We're practicing simple past and past continuous. I give them the cards. They solve it. John was playing cards when it started to rain. So I either give this on the screen or with cards they can move around. But now I start including challenges. The sentence was, John was playing cards when it started to rain. And now I say, and where would you put these? John was playing cards with, so they need to choose where to place adjuncts of company. They need to choose where to put adverbial adjectives there in the sentence. So John was playing cards with Mary in the kitchen when it started to rain heavily. Good. And where would you put quietly, spacious, and outside? So there is no limit for this. But what I did was to go part by part. The challenge was one first, then we added other things, and then we added more. So we are kind of giving them the language in parts. Lots of fun with different games can be used in the classroom. We can have lots of fun in the classroom. You can play hopscotch and have them hopping in the classroom while listing animals, while repeating sentences. And believe me, TPR activities are necessary for young learners, for teenagers, and for adults. So promise that you will give it a try. Rock, scissors, papers, again, use it as something short and sweet to include their airplane competition. Ask them to build a plane and to write a hidden message. And they throw the planes and they need to exchange them. They need to find pairs, getting them into pairs or groups because they design a plane and they are arranged into groups according to what you already gave them to solve in there, to write in there. Play the alphabet game. Once in a while, change the activities. You do not need to do the same game every single class, every single week, every single month. You can, but have a variety of games to have language practice. This is my toolkit. My toolkit where I always have dice in the classroom to play. It could be numbers, or it could be these pocket die where you put some flashcards and you play. I have mystery bags where they have to guess what I have inside, and through their senses, by touching, by exploring. A teddy bear with adults too, something to grab like a ball or a teddy bear, and we pass on to, it's your turn, and you throw it, something safe to be thrown. Flashcards, visuals, board games to have fun. And what I usually say is those, when you can use as counters, the little toys that some chocolates bring. So use those, which are, instead of a coin, instead of an eraser, I usually use these because they are kind of sweet and cute for our students. So all of these activities have to do with building social emotional learning and creating different things for our students to believe in. I usually share with my students my weekend, but in pictures. So I bring my weekend in pictures and I start drawing 3 or 4 things for them to guess what I did. It is absolutely different from me saying, last Saturday I went to the cinema. So they have to guess through my terrible drawing, because I'm not good at drawing. My heart of favorite things, draw their favorite things. So give them the chance to explore, to make this memorable for them, to explore through their emotions, the different things. What I liked about today's class, so I liked the brain breaks. I did not like Luis Miguel. You say, no, I don't like him. She mentioned Luis Miguel. I did not like it. My favorite thing today was, and something I want to make comments on, talk about emotions, talk about their emotions and have fun. So to sum up, what we are doing is connecting the dots with what we did and what the theory says. And this is very short. If we think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he says that almost all creativity involves purposeful play. So we are working on self-esteem, love and belonging, and safety. So we include a class routine, include classroom rules, include some surprise for your students to create that aha moment when they say, I did not expect this. Help them explore through their senses, include stories, movement, and gestures with TPR emotions. Caring, this breathing exercise, yoga, mindfulness, growth mindset, helping them create a safe environment for everyone there, and brain breaks. So this chart combines the traditional teaching as communicative language teaching with brain-friendly learning. You will be able to read this when downloading the handouts. Authentic communication plus active learning, interaction with emotional engagements, and so on and so forth, from one to the other, combining both, because we want a meaningful classroom, we want a meaningful situation in our lessons, but we also want to make memories and to make them memorable. So people, thank you very much. Before leaving to the questions and answers section, I would like to share this with you. And this is Dr. Jana Lee, who said, when we stop talking about what students can't do, we are forced to figure out what they actually need. So what is it that our students need? They need to speak, they need to have fun, they need to enjoy our lessons. So we need to make them memorable. So thank you very much. Now we'll go to the questions and answers. And if you want to scan this QR code, you have access to the PDF and of this presentation, and there you will see how you can contact me. Okay, here we are ready for the questions.